It's the time you've been waiting for. That's right. Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard, your resource and information show for people getting better with age. Well, I am excited, but more importantly, at the same time, we are on the bridge, if you say, to the most impactful time in our history. We know that voting is just around the corner, and more importantly, we have one of our community partners. And let me tell you, I am very happy to have with us Chartay Robinson. Let me tell you, she is a woman whose boots on the ground, in the air, by way of, she is everywhere you want to be. She is impactful, and she's also a true advocate of those who make things happen across the country. But I don't want to delay anyone. We want to welcome to Senior Talk. Everyone stay tuned. We're going to be right back after our commercial opening. All right, family. God bless you. As I mentioned today, we are here live and we are with our community partners and returning once again, and won't be the last, AARP Chicago. Today joining us is Chartay Robinson. She is Associate State Director of Advocacy and Outreach, and she actually took off her roller skates just for a few moments to join us today to talk about voting and also protecting your Social Security benefits that you are entitled to. So welcome to Senior Talk once again. How are you, my beautiful sister, this day?
Great, Clara. Thank you for this opportunity once again.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, we're not going to waste any time. We know that we now, at the time of this broadcast, we are less than 20 days away. I believe we're 19 days away from the general election, and we have some advocacy that we must do, and everyone who is tuning in and listening in will be a part of. First of all, voters 50 and over are the majority voters in every election, and they are what I could presume to call the loyal voters, and they are being stretched to the limit. They want to see politicians address their day-to-day challenges. I know one of them being personally about one area is safety, Social Security, and we need to talk about also protecting what they've earned in Social Security. So how would you address that statement this time?
Thanks, Clara, for asking that question. So what we want to do is make sure that during this election time, that we hold our elected officials accountable, right? And how we can do that is, one, by going to aarp.org/IL votes. That's aarp.org/IL votes. And if you need to learn where to vote in your community, how to vote in your community, that is where you can find information about all of information voter engagement. Where Social Security, we want you grassroots efforts and joining the fight to help protect Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
How you can do that is, this is a call to action. Action.aarp.org. There you take a pledge to join AARP and countless of other community members, not only in the state of Illinois, but also across the country. There, we will be asking for your first name, last name, your email address, and your zip code. It's very simple, but it also lets our congressional folks know there are people in the state of Illinois, the city of Chicago, and wherever you may be watching and listening to this podcast, that your voice matters and that you want to be heard by your congressional leaders. Again, it's it's actually action.aarp.org.
Okay, and we have it scrolling here for those who will be viewing this as well. And in our center of our broadcast stage, there is, you click on the icon, and there's a scan code too. So we're going to be taking this across many multiple events as we leading up to election, because older Americans, you have to show up. You are loyal voters, and your rights should be protected, and you've earned Social Security. So it's important that you make your concerns known to those who you vote for. Let them
Right.
know. Let them see your face. It's very critical. So now talking about Social Security, Americans are working hard into Social Security. I mean, personally, I've met some people who said I just retired and I can't work past a certain amount of dollars because of my Social Security. So Washington doesn't want to take 10 more years, into this, but Social Security could be cut by 20%. And that is very scary that it could be up to an average of over $4,000 a year.
Right.
I'm very nervous. Now, $4,000 is a lot of money and it can stretch to multiple things that you would need to do in your community. So you have to step up. So it's time for both parties to come together and agree on a solution to fix this Social Security shortfall. And how would you address that at this time?
Yeah, those are excellent points that you've just made. And I just want to drill down on that. So, if Washington does not take action in 10 years, right? So,
Wow.
how often, you blink of an eye and it's 10 years, right?
Right.
They do not take action. It could very well impact all of us in our daily pocketbooks, right? The things
Mm,
that we thing, have access to travel and other things of that nature. So can you imagine that on an average of $4,000 being cut from your budget, um, how impactful that would be for you and your family, your decision making from prescription to other things that are just daily budget items that we must have at our availability in order for us to live a whole healthy life. So
yeah.
this is why we're asking folks to join the fight to help protect Social Security. And then also, we want to make sure that it's a bipartisan type of engagement or conversation because it requires everyone that is in Congress. So, whether you're a Republican or if you're Democrat or independent, having Social Security available for community and constituents, it impacts all of us, right? And our voice to be heard. And how our voices are heard is by folks to know that you that live in rural Illinois or if you live in urban Illinois, that you
Mhm.
are concerned with and that you want to participate in the fight by taking the pledge. And thank you, Sarah, for displaying the information, the QR code. You can scan
Yes.
the code with your phone, but you can also go to our website, which is action.aarp.org.
Fantastic. Now, what we are going to address is this. Um, we want to make this, and you said it earlier, Social Security benefits a global dynamic. It is not just one race of people. We all are entitled, and that's where we have to come to on a collective. The challenges and the advocacy for it should be a universal
Right.
opportunity. It's not just one race. Everyone benefits from Social Security because you paid into it, you've earned it, it's yours. But to protect it and have those who you vote for who want your vote,
Mhm.
you have to be present and let them know that that would be a big concern. But have to show up when they have constituent nights.
Right.
Show up. When they
Yeah.
have voter engagement, show up. If there's a phone bank, give a call, show up, be present somehow because it can affect you and then those who you care for and your family members that are behind you through your legacy. So that's a big statement. Now, AARP is fighting to protect, to save Social Security. And many Americans, as we mentioned, are very, very dependent on Social Security for their better quality of life. So, how do we, who are listening and watching, how do we participate? What do we need to do outside of watching this show and listening? And, we may see you around, but in the interim, there are phone numbers. I mean, you gave us engagement websites. What would you desire for this broadcast to be for the constituents and those that you serve to understand, take action? Or as they said, do something.
And one of the things you can do is have these conversations at home. So
Mm,
talking about retirement, which lends to maybe a 65 or 55 plus community, how about the youth who are working now and they are paying into Social Security now? There could be an opportunity that the money that our college students or the youth that are living within in our homes may not have access to the funds that they are putting into. And if, oh, we're gonna keep it real. If you put your somewhere and when it's time for you to access it, you expect for it to be there. You've
Right,
earned
right,
it,
right.
right? You've paid into it. So no matter if you're just now starting off as a young professional, or if you at a space you're considering, you're privileged considering retirement, or
Right.
if this is Social Security is what you live on every day to meet your needs, your personal,
Mhm.
pay for your budget at home, your finances, the things you are responsible for. It's imperative that all of us, so it's not just retired people or pre-retirement, it's for anyone that is working who is paying into Social Security. You have earned it, and those are your funds. And what we're doing is the word out in every way that we can by being on this platform with you, Clara, and thank you for your the people that you engage with and the way that you share information, and it's valuable information. So, a part of all of this is how can we all be a part of this grassroots army, right? So
Yes.
we all have a role. It's not just an organization. It's a large organization brand. It's not just for a community-based organization. We can make this more personalized and have these conversations at home with our family members.
Yes.
They can see the value of the importance in being aware of the issues that are on the ballot, right?
Yeah.
That our
Yes, ma'am.
folks, whomever our president will be, that these will be conversations that will be had. And we want to make sure that everyone is aware of information, that we are educated so we can make an informed decision. And then also we can take action and we can be
Mhm.
a so right now, if it's to scan the QR code or go to the website, that's your way of doing something and being part of this political process, right? Your voice,
Absolutely.
our voices matter.
Absolutely. It's big talk. And I'm glad you mentioned the youth because having just looking over some other newscasts previously in some town halls, and they had a group in I don't know what city, but some of the youth were concerned just about the expenses of just going into their first apartment and having a job outside of working from college. You're coming from college, getting a job, and some of them said, I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It's so expensive now, and I'm just with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a real thing. Things are expensive. Some people may or may not be married for years or at all, those who are single, but there's still Social Security that's down the line that you're looking forward to. But if we don't put action into it now, the benefits and the dollars that our parents invested years ago may not be present. So we have to take a complete focus. Now we're going to move into voting. Well, I tell you, the senior vote, I mean, I am her. I am her. I
Mm-hmm.
am so serious about seniors and their votes being counted and being addressed and that their concerns are met. So 50 plus, as I call them, the loyal voters, and they are what we can always say we are loyal to them, but they're loyal to coming to the polls. And so this is why we're mentioning our civic leaders or our political leaders, because you've voted for them. So we
Right.
have to make a stance to say, do you know my name? Maybe not. I mean, you're dealing in the constituents of many people, but how do we get to a point where we can feel comfortable in exercising this 50? Let me get it together. How do we get 50 plus voters? They are driving this election.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are the ones who may answer a phone bank. Some of them may do many years we had phone banks. They may be the ones that knock on doors or do envelopes, mailers, and all that good stuff. How do we engage that vulnerable population who still want to be a part of the voting process?
So, excellent question again, Claire. So, candidates cannot afford to overlook the power of the 50 plus voter,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Right.
We, because I'm 50 plus,
Me
we
too.
elections and then shape the political landscape for 2024.
Mhm.
Means that we have to early vote. If that means we have to mail in our vote, if that means that we have to get in our vehicles and pick up some friends and take them to the polling location, those are the things that it it's powerful, it's empowering, um,
Mhm.
and then also it's intergenerational,
Right.
but it's generational because again, our vote matters, right?
Yeah.
Nonpartisan organization. And what we like to do is provide all the resources so that people can make an informed decision. And how we're helping with the voter engagement and education is that we've created this website that if you need to know where to vote, if you want to early vote, the polling places in your community. There's a list of who is on the ballot list, right? So,
Right.
or you go on polling curtain, you have a list of those. And then you can do your homework and see who is in alignment with what your beliefs are, what matters most to you as an individual, but also your family. And so we want to direct you to aarp.org/IL votes. VOTS. And so there again, there's a QR code, but there's also the website. Again, it is you taking the power and exercising your right to vote. And then again, it's multi generational. Take your grandkids, your cousins, whomever else. We're not saying vote for. It's important for us to vote, and then
Yes.
to know what are the resources that are available to us right now today that we can exercise our right to vote and then vote for the candidate again that aligns with what your beliefs are and where you are from a financial perspective, social security, caregiving.
Oh Lord. Yes, yes. It's a big two. First of all, as you mentioned, and you did it excellent last year, we did a conference on caregiving. The
Mhm.
questions, oh my gosh, we should have them on the ballot somewhere. I mean, the opportunities and the resources that each community needs on caregiving is a big to do and should be on the ballot, but we'll work on that at another time. But then also too, we got to think about this. Our older Americans are taking on the responsibility. Some of them are caregivers,
Mhm.
some of them are actually caring for their grandchildren.
Right.
Some of them are caring for their siblings.
Mhm.
And it's a whole dynamic of things that people getting better with age, which we call older Americans, but I call them people getting better with age, that they have taken on even after retirement. Then they're trying to have a social life. They have, most have disposable income.
Mhm.
They have to make those decisions. But the critical thing is, and as we're getting to this, as you mentioned, I did put the website, it's arp.org/IL votes. Please check out the website. It's on clarahubbard.org. We'll tell you the specific section is already uploaded. But here's the critical point. There are some of us who will listen and say, oh, that's not me.
Mhm.
If you've already early voted, guess what? Call your friends in your social circle. Girl, or he or she, have you all went to vote? Do you need help early voting? Some people choose to go on election day. That's just the procedure. We need to check on your friends. Everyone is responsible. This is all of our task. It's not just one person's task. It's all of us. This voting season can change the whole dynamic of our country. And
Absolutely.
we have to be responsible for our own part. As they said in one of those debates, do something.
Absolutely. There some of our community, our loved ones who live on Social Security,
Yes, ma'am.
and that they don't have other income, right? And so we need to be a voice for one another, but also for ourselves, right?
Yes.
If Social Security is the funding agent within your home,
Mm-hmm.
we would want you to take um ownership of, right? To be a part of the conversation, to stress up, joining the fight to protect Social Security. You don't have to leave your home. You don't have to write a letter. Um,
Right.
it really is going to the website, scanning a QR code, joining a fight. And thereafter, there will be things that we will ask community to do on behalf of AARP, but also on behalf of ourselves, right?
Yes, ma'am. Right. Right.
So that we can, if it's signing a petition, and it or making phone calls to your congressional person, whichever district that you live in. There are ways in which community can be a part of this political process. And when many of us gather, congressional folks have no other way to respond but to respond, right?
Great statement. Yes.
Listen, because if there is a group of us, how can you say no to a group of hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people? So if we take this up as a priority and we say this is important to me individually or it's important to my community, and
Mm-hmm.
hear us. And AARP is leading these conversations. We are in DC and we're also in Springfield. And so we are working on behalf of community members. I say 50 plus, but where caregiving and Social Security is concerned, there's no age that's attached to that. We
Absolutely.
are we are all recipients of this, right? So either we have been a caregiver, we are a caregiver. That age isn't associated with that. So
Absolutely.
security, if you're 18 and you just started your first job, you're paying into Social Security. If you are 65 and now you want to retire, that money is yours.
Yes.
Age
Absolutely.
is not the requirement in order for your voice to be heard.
Well, let's do this. Let's take not a break, but let's hear this message from AARP.
Social Security is my lifeblood. It is my lifeline to remaining an independent person and being able to live my life wholly, happily.
Those of us who have worked all our lives and who paid into Social Security do expect Social Security to be there because we paid it. It's not a gift, we've earned.
It's an integral role in household finances. It goes into the checkbook and it's just used for everyday living expenses.
It would have a significant impact on our life because we utilize that money to run our house as well as to do other things that retirement that you would like to be doing in retirement. So that would be a serious cut in our income.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me say this. If you were watching or tuning in, that commercial was diverse. They were in multiple cities,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone had the same concern. You've earned
Mm-hmm.
it. One man said he expects to have his Social Security. I
Right.
expect to be there when I need it and when
Right.
I'm ready to pull it down. So here we are. We're, as we mentioned, we're less than 20 days into the general election. I'm sure this is not going to be just a segment piece, but we have to get boots on the ground to be serious about the business of what we're entitled to.
Mm-hmm.
Not be afraid to show up to get it.
Right.
And so I will say to all those who are tuning in and listening, do yourself a favor. Go to aarp.org/IL votes. That is the first website. And then we have another one for our pledge that is taking place right now. And we'll have it scrolling in many places where you see Senior Talk. It'll also be on our website and newsletter. Just scroll it, click it. If you need help, call me. We're going to get it done. But we need to show up with these numbers because the platform is in place. And AARP is serious about the business of serious business. So we're talking Social Security. We talked about voting. Now we have to be a part of the process. Are there any other things that we have not covered today?
Well, I want to direct people also to aarp.org. There you will find information, resources about caregiving. If you want to volunteer in the community, I am the Associate State Director for AARP Northern Illinois, specifically the South Side of Chicago. We're always seeking opportunities of way of engaging with volunteers. But on their website, you'll also find out more about budgeting, savings, and planning. There's no time like the present to start. If you need help with creating a budget, we have those tools that are on our website. If you want to learn more about Medicaid, Medicare, and then also our discounts, to be, one thing about AARP, folks know about our discounts. So consider the membership, right? But I also want to say that you do not have to be a member to access the resources that are at aarp.org. My goal and purpose in life is to provide community with resources so that we can make informed decisions, again, about us individually and then also our parents. And then the advocacy work, that's where Social Security falls, that we want to encourage community members to participate, to be involved, to be aware, and to take the pledge.
Absolutely. Well, Chartay, I can only thank you enough for allowing Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard and to AARP Illinois for choosing Senior Talk as one of your media outlets. It's been an added benefit to our programming to know that we have ARP and we can just refer persons who are looking for things on anything that's advocacy or getting better with age, as I would say. You go to aarp.org/Illinois. Well, let me call my friend Chartay Robinson. Let me tell you, because she's really someone who has taken the time to make it happen. And, we're coming into a part where we don't want anyone, and I hope this communication, this broadcast was impactful to those who are tuning in and viewing, because when you get ARP information in the mail, it's to help. And more than so, it's not an age thing, because we were talking about this earlier in another show, but people say, oh, girl, I got some people in ARP. I'm only 47. Open it up. There's something for you. It's opportunities for everyone, things you could pass on to your loved ones as well.
Right. I will say this, you're never too young to be an AARP member.
Right? Fantastic. That's it.
So what we are doing is we are coming into the community by way of working with you, because you have such an amazing relationship with community members and 50 plus. Yeah. Also, we feel though if we arm and provide information to your constituents, that they will take this information and share with their friends, their loved ones, their church members, their faith, wherever they choose to get their information in the community, that they can say that, oh, I heard about, AARP, and there's this pledge about Social Security, and that in itself is us doing the work that supports the village, and that we, again, to make informed decisions and becoming more aware about the issues and how we can participate in this political process. And then also the call to action, the work that we can do from our homes, from our phones, and still be an active participant in this entire process.
Absolutely. So everyone, and I thank you for your statement and for who you are in our partnership, and we have much more work to do. Everyone, as we're mentioning, you may be just tuning in. AARP has a website. It's going to be scrolling to Claire Hubbard. We'll give you that information, but go to action.aarp.org and you'll see the pledge that they have, because we're we're looking for people to participate in this pledge, to know who you are and where you are, so we can be of service to you. And then the other website is arp.org/IL votes. It's voting season. Make your voice count. If you chose to early vote, we appreciate you, but check on your friends who may not. And also, if you're a grandparent, I think you could take your loved one or your grandchildren into the booth. Let's do a dynamic. Get them ready for what's ahead for them. God bless you all. Thank you for making us a part of your day. I am Clara Hubbard, your host and granddaughter in the community. Our special guest and returning once again is one of our favorite organizations, AARP Illinois, and our friend Chartay Robinson, Associate State Director of Advocacy and Outreach. We thank you so much, and we'll see you next time for Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard. Everyone, take care and have a great day.
Bye.